Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's Fred here from Clooney Garage. We get asked a ton of times, can I upgrade and do some mods to my VF SV6? The answer is, of course you can. Now, we're not experts in the SV6 platform, but we do a heap of mods to Commodores, and we've done a ton of research in doing this video for you. Let's check out the 3 stages and give you guys some information. Let's go.
Duck's guts.
Stage 1 is all about maximising the value in your platform. These mods don't have to break the bank, so let's get stuck into them. First of all, we look at suspension and handling. Now for handling and getting the ride height right, you can look at some lowered springs. We've got some personal experience with king springs, and aim for a bit of a low to mid drop of around 25 to 40 mil. Make sure the legalities in your state and territory is compliant. But this is going to help improve overall body roll, lowers the centre of gravity, and gives the car a bit more of an aggressive stance and starts to not too much head down to that, slammed life sort of thing that you might see on a Friday night down in George Street, but this will make the car feel and handle a bit better. Secondly, start to inspect any of those worn bushes and start replacing them. I'm talking sway bars, control arms. This, as well as a bit of a wheel alignment and a lower stance, will make the car feel totally different. Next, you want to get a bit of a growl and a bit of an air intake noise and start to free up some of that restrictive air box. Go with something like an OTR, an over-the-radiator intake. This feeds cooler ambient air from above the radio rather than under the bonnet, and it also starts to improve throttle response, gives you a bit more of an induction sound, but be careful. You'll start to change the AFRs pretty quickly here. So we always recommend with an OTR or an air intake, you have a look at a tune, and particularly around your fuel map and your AFR ratios. Make sure that you get those in check. We've got some personal experience and heard some horror stories of AFR and the lambdas going into bad territory. You just do the OTR by itself. Thirdly, have a look at a nice catback or exhaust system. That'll start to make your SV6 sound a little bit more fruitier. It'll free up some of that restriction in that factory system. Gives you better flow, better sound, and a more of an engaging driving experience. So you can have a look at brands like X-Force or Manta. We've got personal experience with both those brands, and they're both pretty good. If you've got the budget and money, go with something like a Manta, because that mild steel sounds a lot better than some of the stainless steel sounds you get out of the X-Force systems. Keep it legal. Don't go for too much drone. Don't go straight pipe life. Make sure you give all us street machine and track enthusiasts a good name on the road, particularly if this is your road registered car, so keep it legal. At this stage, you're probably spending about $1,500 to $3,000, somewhere like that, so it's not going to break the bank, particularly if you do the work yourself and a bit of a DIY. These stage 1 mods are probably going to be progressive for all the next stages that I'm talking about, but these ones are no regrets. Alright, stage 2 is where you start to push your SV6 into a bit of performance territory. And we're talking about where you start to get a bit of synergy with these components. So intake, exhaust, tune. Then we start talking about upgrading the brakes and handling, and then you're starting to get a bit more of a more balanced package. And all these elements combined together. So with the exhaust that I've just talked about, have a think about getting some extractors or some headers or even some high flow catalytic converters. This will really open up the mid to upper bands of the rev range. And combined with the catback exhaust and the tune, will definitely make some material increases in power. Now, as I mentioned, the tune is really, really important for these SV6 platforms, particularly with the over-the-radiator intake, and now you've got an exhaust as well. So you can be looking at about 15 to 25 rear-wheel kilowatt gains in this, so not huge, but still, when the engine's not powering a huge amount of grunt anyway, this will feel, and more importantly, you'll feel more engaged in the car. Now, with a bit more extra grunt under the bonnet, always start to look at your brakes. One of the most undervalued or less invested modification options that people look at. And you don't need to go and get a big massive Harrop or aftermarket 6-spotter brake kit. All we're talking about is bigger rotors, better brake pads, braided lines if you can, and some better brake fluid. And again, you haven't improved the huge amount of power coming out of the car, so therefore you don't need to throw huge amounts of investments in the brakes, but you do need to upgrade those factory items. One of the things we often talk about on the channel is lighter wheels and that unsprung weight advantage, and that can give you more of an advantage around braking as well. Have a look at brands like Koya, those sorts of things. Those wheels are definitely a lot lighter than the factory item. Now, if you are thinking of taking your SV6 to a track day, I'd also potentially be thinking about maybe a cold thermostat. I'll cover that in another mods video, but you don't need to be going big, massive enduro radiators, but just make sure that you've got potentially an oil cooler, And if you're running an automatic, definitely a transcooler as well. Ensure all your exhaust shields are fit for purpose, coolant hoses, no leaks, and all your intake plumbing and all the rest of it, particularly if you're going to go take it on a track. You don't want any of that busting on a track day. All right, stage 3. This is for really serious builders here, and you've got a bit of a choice in your path here. Do you actually keep investing in your SV6, or do you start to redirect those funds and actually buy a V8 based platform? I'm taking for granted that you're watching this video that you want to stick with the SV6, but my personal recommendation would be to spend this next money on the V8. But just say you're hell-bent on the SV6, let's keep going. I'll tell you more mods for the SV6. Alright, so once you've done the mods that I've talked about in stage 1 and 2, your next route here for more horsepower is really forced induction. Now, we can't find too much information about turbo kits, but there are some supercharger kits, particularly around that sort of turbo style Vortex side mount supercharger. I can't find any sort of top mount superchargers for an SV6. Tell me if I've got that wrong, but I can't find any. And Kappa seems to be the main brand that makes these side mount superchargers. Now, some of these are pretty impressive, like you're getting an extra 100 kilowatts over and above factory. That's pretty cool for an SV6, and they sound pretty good too. Now, when you're heading into this territory, this is when you really need to start thinking about fuel systems and, making sure you've got all the electrical side of things catered for. You've obviously got a tune that matches, but fuel pump and fuel delivery is going to be your biggest issue here. Now, just say you're running a manual gearbox, I definitely recommend with this sort of power output to go with a bit bigger, more higher performance orientated clutch, potentially something like an organic or a ceramic. And the factory clutch ain't going to cut it, particularly if you're going to be a little bit hard and leaning on it, so definitely upgrade on that. I don't know what your options are here, particularly if you've got an automatic, but I typically wouldn't be using an SV6 to do drag racing. But if you are going to do a bit of spirited driving, definitely a transcooler. If you are heading into this territory here and you've done the chassis and suspension mods we talked about in stage 1, now I'd be thinking about, do you really need some coilovers or some better control arms and better toe and adjustment arms here for your suspension? But again, you've got to ask a question, could you and should you be spending this money on a V8 based platform and actually have your plateau a lot higher than where you're going to cap out on the SV6? Alright, I've got a couple of golden rules that go together here with these mods, and they are the following. Start with a plan and a goal in mind. Where do you see this SV6 build going towards? And that way you won't overcapitalise on your build. So start with the goal in mind. Secondly, use the best quality components and parts you can find. Don't go get some stuff off eBay and all and cobble it together and do it on the cheap. Big investment, obviously in the mods and obviously in the SV6 you've already got already. Don't scrimp. Thirdly, do these mods in logical groups. Air, fuel, exhaust, tune as an example. Don't just do one and 6 months later do another. Make sure you save up and do them in bundles because they logically go together and you'll get the most out of it and more reliability and performance. Next rule, don't forget cooling. And I'm talking about obviously the radiator, the oil cooling. You're starting to throw more power and probably drive this car a bit harder. Don't scrimp on the cooling. Finally, make sure you've got a good tuner and a budget for tuning and ongoing calibration and monitoring and data logging and all the rest of it. You're actually changing most of the factory configuration elements here, particularly in the engine. You've got to keep an eye on all the vitals and all the AFRs and all that sort of stuff. So get a good relationship with the tuner. Learn to trust them, capture a whole lot of data. Alright legends, that's the guide for SV6s. I don't have much more information than that. I don't have many of my own footage, so I've had to get a bit of stuff off the internet to share with you here, and I've got some links of some videos of some dyno runs and some examples of other people that have done their SV6s. These are really around budget, daily orientated mods and then more track and race oriented mods. Tell me what mods you've done to your SV6 and what power you've gotten out of it. So I've talked about anywhere from 15 to 25 rear wheel kilowatts at the lower end, then 100 kilowatts plus at the higher end. So I'd love to know from your mods what sort of power advantage you've gotten and how you've gotten there. Leave us a like, comment and subscribe. On that note, catch you later and thanks for watching Clooney Garage.